Coachella is back and less hyped than ever. It's crazy to say that this year is making headlines for the fact that things just aren't comparing to the other years. For the first time in a long time, there's still a large number of tickets still available. It took nearly a month for weekend 1 to finally sell out, which is way longer than usual, and weekend 2 tickets are still being sold at the first tier pricing. This year's headliners are Lana Del Rey, Tyler the Creator, and Doja Cat. Tons of people criticized this year's lineup, feeling like it was just whatever. I personally love Lana and have been wanting to see her again. Tyler the Creator is one of my favorite artists, but he hosts his own music festival called Camp Flog Gnaw in LA, and that was just in November. So the timing between November and him being announced for Coachella in January felt so close that I think people were just like, oh, since they're both California festivals. Doja Cat performed back in 2022, but this would be the first year that she is headlining, but recently she has just been quite controversial. She's been in some drama with her fans. She said that she was quitting music. I mean, it has been a whole thing. And I did wonder if No Doubt had been announced as a main headliner, like in the big 3-day font, if more eyes would be on Coachella. I know they're still on there, but being at the bottom just feels kind of whatever, even though it is a big deal and they're reuniting for the first time since 2015. But I don't know, maybe moving it around just wouldn't have even worked and we'd be in the same position. But some are now wondering if the festival is trying to pull out all the stops last minute to drive people's attention towards this year's events, since the hype just isn't there. Within the last week, there's been rumors that Taylor Swift will be attending with Travis Kelce, as several of her friends are on the lineup. We've got Lana Del Rey, Ice Spice, Bleachers, Sabrina Carpenter. There's also other conversations being had surrounding this year's festival. Vulture reported Coachella really needs the press, accusing them of having artists kind of drum up some drama in order to get them talked about so people are looking at Coachella a little bit more. Along with them also talking about the Travis and Taylor rumor, they wrote, "So was it just a coincidence that 9 days before her first Coachella headlining set, Doja Cat logged onto Twitter to philosophize about album leaks and pick fights with her fans, whom she recently swore she doesn't hate? Those tweets have already been deleted, but she's standing by her Pitbull take." Which, if you don't know what that's in reference to, she had tweeted out saying, "How is Pitbull not in the big 3?" Which they were bringing up because this was the only tweet that she had basically not deleted. Vulture continued, and that all came after fellow headliner Tyler the Creator's own defensive moment last week when he took a break from promoting his Louis Vuitton collection and responded to a fan who asked if he'd be performing that old set of music from his 2021 album Call Me If You Get Lost when he headlined. "I sure am. Most artists with 7 albums worth of music usually perform songs that they already put out, LOL," Tyler wrote in another now deleted tweet, just days after Tyler found himself trending yet again as the center of a storyline on Jared Carmichael reality show involving his friend Carmichael admitting a crush on him. And so Vulture was overall just wondering if all of this was happening and being talked about because they're on a mission to hype up this year's Coachella. Now, I know people hate on Coachella, and there's certainly aspects of it that get crazy and times that have been extremely disappointing to music lovers, but yet it's an extremely hyped festival, and Coachella's faced tons of backlash over the years for being just that, way too hyped. I mean, there's tons of videos where influencers go and they're like, it actually sucks, like it's not like the pictures. And yes, it definitely can be overhyped, but I also think it's one of those things where it is what you make of it. Now, if the festival wasn't so close by for me, I wouldn't consider going, but the convenience makes it easier and more worth it for me to go. As many times as I have been, I've gone just very open-minded about everything, and it's the way to do this. It's also a work thing, which adds another layer to it. But if you're going for one specific artist, this is just not going to be for you, because the crowd, it's not even going to be anywhere near as hyped as if you saw your favorite artist at their own headlining show. And sometimes they might not even come through for you, like we saw with Frank Ocean last year. I do think that when it comes to Coachella, you just can't go in with these crazy high expectations that it's going to be this magical, beautiful, super incredible Instagram situation that the entire time you're there, it's all about strategy, maximizing your time, making sure you're getting your money's worth, making sure you're hydrated, because it's an expensive festival and you do not want to take an L. Like, you gotta plan out who you want to see, where you have to go, the food you want to eat, where you're going to meet your friends, all of this before you go. Truly, it's the only way. I mean, sure, you could totally go with the flow. It can be fun, but there's so many people who say that they had a horrible time, it wasn't worth the hype, and if you want to try to avoid something like that, your best bet is to plan. But like I said, getting your hopes up for one person in particular could be dangerous, as most have seen from the last minute cancellation of Kanye West back in 2022, when he gave the festival just 2 weeks to try and find his replacement. Swedish House Mafia and The Weeknd ended up filling the space for him that year, and obviously, like I said, last year Frank Ocean disappointed fans with his Coachella performance as he closed out the festival weekend one, leaving fans confused by the disappointing mess. It was his first performance in several years, and tons had come out just to see his set, but plenty were left wondering what went wrong. Fans had already been upset earlier that day after learning that his set would not even be live streamed by Coachella, but in the end, fans at home didn't miss too much because what was occurring on the stage was very questionable. Frank was an hour late, fans were starting to worry if he was even coming on at all, and when he did eventually get on the stage, it became more of a listening party. As for some of the songs, he was just listening to them play like the crowd was, jamming to his own songs. He was sort of hidden at other points within the equipment that was on the stage, and at one point there was a random DJ that had started playing that people thought the set was over. I mean, there were just really random things that were happening. It seemed really chaotic, really unorganized, and it wasn't even a very long set because he had come on late. Tons of people at the time were just looking around at each other when it ended, wondering what they had just witnessed, and it eventually came out as to what seemed to have happened. There was this huge elaborate plan that had been set up, but he seemed to have scrapped it all last minute, resulting in the chaos. Variety wrote at the time, "The sources confirmed that an elaborate stage production involving an ice rink and a battery of skaters who would apparently skate around Ocean and the band during their set was constructed, rehearsed for several days and ready to go, but abruptly called off on Sunday afternoon after the festival was already underway." Why the production was abruptly changed, however, has two different explanations. Citing sources, the festival owl wrote, "Frank decided at the last minute that he no longer wanted it at all. All of the people walking around him at the start of the performance were actually ice skaters, had been practicing for weeks, and were supposed to be skating as part of the production. Coachella had to deconstruct the approved stage that had been planned and signed off on for months in advance, melt the entire ice rink, then set it up how Frank decided today with no warning, which is what you ended up seeing and caused the hour-long delay. This all happened when doors had already opened for Sunday and people were securing their spots to see him. If the last-minute changes weren't made, he wouldn't have performed at all, leaving the festival without a closing headliner." Variety sources support the basics of this report. He was replaced for weekend 2, and so this is just one of the reasons why it's not really the best to just try and go and see one person. There's also just been times like Billie Eilish's first Coachella performance where the stage was having issues and she couldn't go on in time and her set was cut short as a result, which led to disappointment from fans, and also she was super frustrated by this inconvenience. And this is something that happens quite often, along with audio issues that do also occur, which Bad Bunny experienced last year when he brought out Post Malone as a surprise guest, and it seemed that they couldn't really hear each other, making it sort of awkward to watch them coordinate the song and figure out how to go about this. Then there's the whole conversation about this being the festival of the influencers, where people are really just there to get an Instagram picture and that's it. And I do think that this is very much a festival where people do want all the photos and that it is very influencer heavy and people do just want to say that they went to Coachella. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it is why I said if you were a super fan, don't be surprised when you're seeing your favorite and people around you don't even know who you're seeing or don't know the words to the songs. The crowd just isn't going to be as hyped for this reason because not everyone is going solely for music purposes. But I will say that there's just so much going on at this festival. It really isn't just the music that is happening here. There's also pop-up exhibits, there's art pieces, brand experience, foodie experiences. Truly, there's so much more that's going on than just the performances, which makes it very overwhelming. The festival is also drawing tons of attention online as it's going down, since it's become this part of pop culture, from fashion conversations to the drama that it's starting and the celeb sightings. 2 years ago, people were pointing out how the fashion at Coachella was kind of varying between celebrities and influencers in the way that influencers would dress up and celebrities were starting to go more casual to the festival. Some wondered if the festival had maybe lost its fashion show touch and if things were chilling out.
I'm noticing that this is how influencers dress for Coachella. Lots of time and effort put into these looks. Like my outfit today took hours to put together. Lots of care and attention to detail to make sure it's perfect. And this is how the A-listers show up. Look at Kylie and Haley. Very easy, effortless, leather and jeans. Here's what Kendall wore. Like, is this the tea? I think that's the tea.
Coachella this year has been a very controversial topic that I'm seeing a lot of different TikToks about. The differences between what influencers wore versus what celebrities wore. Celebrities dressing casual, making influencers look stupid. It's all very, very interesting to see people's opinions on this. A lot of celebrities dress casual because they don't want to be spotted. They want to get into the festival, watch the set of a few of their friends. They don't want to post any content and they want to get out and enjoy their day. And that's fine. Whereas a lot of influencers do want to get spotted, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Our entire lives and jobs revolve around creating content and getting engagement on that content. I would love to go to a music festival in a casual outfit, but if I posted that on Instagram, it would get 0 engagement and all the comments would be like, what are you doing, girl? Also, for me personally, I think that getting dressed up for a music festival is cool and it's part of the experience. I genuinely love planning the looks and the accessories and the makeup looks and the photos. Like, it's fun. I don't think it looks stupid to wear a crazy outfit that you want to photograph and feel confident in. And I also don't think it looks stupid to wear a casual outfit. I do think it looks stupid to make fun of people for having fun and expressing themselves.
And conversations are being had about what to expect this year, since one, the festival seems less hyped, and if things were already chilling out last year, what will be in store this year? I feel like the vibes are about to be all over the place. I can't even predict what I think will happen. I mean, with Lana Del Rey headlining, will the flower crowns make their return back to the festival? Will everyone be embracing their croquette princess vibes with bows and lace, or will this be the year of t-shirt and jeans? I guess we'll just have to see. But in terms of celeb news and all of that, I mean, last year there was a lot of things that people were looking out for. Rumors had just started at the time that Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet were dating, and people were wondering if Kylie was going to show up with Timmy and they were going to make their first public appearance together. The two of them were not spotted at the festival, but we do know now that they are together and have been seen in public a couple times, so I wonder if they will be attending the festival this year together. As for her sister Kendall Jenner, Bad Bunny and her were together last year and people were not happy about it. People joked about how they communicated and if she would even be able to vibe to his Coachella set. Tons of videos were going around of the two of them hanging out at Coachella, but the two have since broken up, so the eyes seem a little bit off of Kendall this time around. Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello were also a hot topic last year as they sparked up some conversations after being spotted together, acting like they were back together, kissing, holding each other, dancing. Camila did address this hot and heavy moment when she was on Call Her Daddy recently, admitting that it was fun, but that it just didn't work out between the two of them. As far as influencer news, last year things seemed pretty chill. Alex Earl had just blown up and she was sent to Coachella by guests, and the Vlog Squad was also invited by them as well, so they were on the same private jet, staying in the same house during Coachella. And as a result, he was seen in some of the content that was posted of her, and the comments at the time were pretty disappointed in her. Some were defending that she was on a brand trip. Obviously, she didn't choose him to be on the trip. She was invited, he was invited. It just so happened that they were together, but that was one of the only really big conversations that was surrounding any influencer news. So no, there wasn't a sugar bear hair crazy moment leading to a Dramageddon, but I guess we'll have to see what goes down this year, and who knows who will even be going with the way that reports have said this year hasn't been selling and things just aren't as hyped as years prior, but it is happening right now, so we'll just be on the lookout to who shows, what goes down, and everything as the weekend goes on. But let me know what you guys think about all of this in regards to the festival. How are you feeling about it? What do you think of the lineup? Do you think they're drumming up drama in order to get more eyes on it? Would you guys go? Are you guys going? Let me know in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.